A few days later, as Kay is readying to leave the bank for the day, he hears convulsive sighs coming from behind the door of the lumber room. He opens the door and enters. The two warders who first appeared in his apartment are at the mercy of a man dressed in leather, the whipper. The whipper is preparing to do what whippers do best. The men are being whipped because Kay complained about their conduct at the first interrogation. Kay is horrified. He explains that he had merely described the men's behavior, did not hold them responsible for their actions. He had no idea that they would be punished, and has absolutely no desire to see them punished. He offers to pay the whipper not to whip the pitiful, supplicating men. But a whipper must do what a whipper must do. The whipping commences, and one of the warders lets loose a blood-curdling shriek that sends Kay out of the room and into the hall. He reassures the clerks who come to investigate the noise that it was merely a dog howling outside. Kay feels terrible about the warders. He would have been willing to increase the bribe, or to offer himself as their replacement, an option that the whipper must surely have refused if only one of the warders had not screamed, making it necessary for Kay to leave the room and explain away the situation to the clerks. All the next day the warders weigh on Kay's mind. He stays late to catch up on work, but, when he walks past the lumber room he cannot help looking in. There are the warders and the whipper, just as they were the previous evening. The warders begin again to call to him. Kay slams the door shut, beats on it with his fist, and, near tears, rushes back to where the clerks are. He orders them to clear out the lumber room. They promise to do so the next day. He goes home with a blank mind. This incident seems orchestrated precisely to facilitate an eventual mental breakdown, the signs of which many of the accused men seem to exhibit. It is one thing to have one's own case to worry about, but it is another to be saddled with the guilt of being, however unintentionally, the source of these poor fools' misery. Those who look to the trial as a harbinger of totalitarian atrocity note that this chapter evokes the interrogation torture, and it is not always the interrogated who is tortured, and psychological oppression that have been the calling cards of a depressing number of 20th century regimes. The court apparently has access to every place it can set up shop in a company's closet, or in a tenement attic, yet it still conducts its business in dark, sealed, uncomfortable, makeshift or out-of-the-way places, such as the examples just given. This is surely not coincidental. Rather, it is an essential characteristic of an impenetrable and unaccountable bureaucracy. Chapter 5 maintains the relationship between Kay, the court, and air. After witnessing the whipping, and realizing he cannot prevent it, Kay steps over to a window and opens it, as if the fresh air will dispel the presence of the court.